Hello and welcome. It's my pleasure today to introduce Cheryl Miller and Kelly McGregor. Cheryl and Kelly have embarked on a journey to discover the impact of the third teacher, the classroom environment. The focus for them was not on the physical environment, but more importantly on knowing your learners and empowering your students. From day one, the focus was on students being able to advocate for themselves. Goal setting and learning styles were a priority, and a big block of time was dedicated to this. As Cheryl and Kelly share their journey with you, you will notice how changes in the pedagogy impacted the environment. Students were able to articulate the what, why, and how learning was happening for them. Students' metacognition and critical thinking increased. As you view this video, you will see how global competencies are the front and center. This is a classroom where students' voice and choices are evident. Everything purchased in the classroom was based on students' needs. The teachers continuously surveyed the students to understand their needs and determine next steps for them. Students had input on any changes made to the environment. They truly had shared ownership of their classroom.
So we asked, what do kids think and need?
I need tools and timers to help me.
I need to work standing up. I need to bounce to concentrate or else I won't be able to follow.
Don't let me sit in the exact same chair every single day.
I cannot remember so much at one time. Let me have chunks, please.
I need to work with a friend.
One test, I need to be alone.
I need to fidget with something in a long lesson.
I need more time for my work, but please not at recess.
My body needs to move. I need to be in a comfortable spot. All people are different and so are their strategies. I sometimes need to be with a small group or alone.
This insight led to the recipe for change.
So I had a vision for a classroom that didn't match the one-size-fits-all, that reflected what kids need in a learning environment. A classroom where we got rid of a seating plan, put kids in the center of their learning, made flexible seating so that they could move and learn the way that they need to move and learn. And the benefits of the classroom change where one size doesn't fit all has been wonderful. So this is our classroom on the second last day of school. Come on in.
You'll notice a variety of seating, including stand-up desks with foot pivot bars for those who like to move, groups of high desks and stools for collaboration, which can also be pulled apart for independent work, individual desk chairs, private study carrels, yoga balls, dome and wedge seats, rocking stools and bean bags, also a whiteboard table, a few traditional chairs, and a low table with rockers or cushions.
I would start every morning in our school. I'm always in the hallways, but I would make sure that before announcements started, I was in the grade 3 classroom. And the purpose of that was for me to see where the students were sitting each day, because they were never sitting in the same place in the mornings. So I would always ask, why are you sitting here today? And the students every day could articulate, I'm at the stand-up desk today because I'm a little antsy and I need to move. Or I know that we're going to be doing our centers, so I want to have a small spot for independent work. And each time throughout the day that I would be in there and they've changed spots, they could tell me why. And it was always prefaced with, Madame Miller would tell us before recess that after recess we'll be doing this, so I know that I need to sit in this type of setting so that I can be successful.
I like to work at the stand-up flower desks because it helps me concentrate because the work is up above me and it's easier to see. And I like to have other people around me so I can talk about the questions. I like every single desk in here, except I really like the green ball and this because if it's like independent work, I have big room and then I don't have anybody else distracting me. I work my best at the whiteboard table because I can easily move around on the stools and like I mostly move around a lot on like any day, and so this stool is mostly meant for me because it moves a lot and you can concentrate I like the table because when I'm stuck on an easy math question, I can easily write on the table to help me.
Some of the most important things that I have witnessed as the administrator in our school with Cheryl and Kelly's TLLP is the importance of the goal setting piece for students. Students would set short-term goals and they would make small gains. Then they would do the reflective piece on it. The metacognition was so powerful coming from 8 and 9-year-olds, and it was amazing to watch them identify what was key for them to be able to have to support their learning.
As a core English teacher and resource teacher, I work with a variety of students, and we've worked really hard this year at helping students identify their learning needs and the tools that they need to help meet those needs. So we've tried a variety of tools this year, like the fidget balls or sand timers if they need a visual of the amount of time that they have, weighted lap pads, and then also wedge seats and wiggle cushions that they can place on their chairs if they need to be moving or if they have sensory issues. As students progressed throughout our journey this year, they were able to identify their learning strengths and their learning needs. And one thing that we really wanted to carry forward was that they can advocate for what they need as a learner. So we worked on an advocacy card with the students where they identified their strengths and needs and then the strategies that they most need to be successful. So it was really empowering to see them advocate for themselves about what strategies they need the most to learn.
So to get to that point, it took explicit teaching and reflection. We started something called Check Me Out, where I would take photos of the students in action when they chose their seating arrangement and their tools that best suited that activity, and I would take a photo of them when they were working. From that photo, we would conference, and we would decide what were you doing in that photo that helped you meet success, and we would write all over the photo and hang it up to say, check me out, this is what I did to meet success, so that they realized what their strengths and weaknesses were and what tools actually were helpful to them. Once we did that a few times and started debunking that, we got into the advocacy cards, and we were just so surprised and happy how well the students knew themselves as learners. It was a real aha moment for us that they were able to do that so independently. This is their advocacy card. It includes their name and a photo, and at the top, the things that they like. We really focused on subjects and interests. On the far left, my learning strengths, and on the far right, my learning challenges. The upside down triangle is my keys to success. From the most important to the least important, 5 things that they feel they need to do to meet success.
These cards are a working document. The students have them, and they are able to pass them on to their future teachers. Our grade 3 students, as well as some of our grade 8 students, have used them as they move on to high school or onto the next year so that they are able to introduce themselves to their teacher and advocate for themselves.
The students knew their learning recipe, their weaknesses, their strengths, and what they need the most to meet success. As part of metacognition and goal setting, we started this large sheet called I'm in charge of my learning. And we had students do goal setting to learn how to get from dependence on this side to independence on this side. And every time we would meet throughout the year, the children would explain why they thought or what things they were doing that showed more independence as a learner, as they made choices as to where to sit, what tools to use, the strategies that they needed. And every time we met, we would see their names go more to the right to independence, which was our goal for the year.
I used to be very bad at organizing, and now I am getting better all the baby steps way. All the way, baby steps over here.
And why do you think you're there now?
Because I'm getting better at organizing my stuff.
And what about where you work?
I choose the best places for myself to work. I moved on places because at the start of the year, I had to ask Madame a lot where I work good, but now I'm independent more to do what I need to do, not ask Madame where I need to go. Now I know because now I know where I work good with no one talking to me. At the beginning of the year, I was right here, and then I moved right here, and then I moved right here, and then at the end of the year, I moved right up here. And I moved way up here because I have confidence in me. I like how we can choose where we get to sit, so I don't have to sit with the exact same person every single day. I learned so much about how I learn. I love this class because Madame Miller helps us learn how we work the best. I love how we can make decisions about our learning.
To wrap up our year, we invited parents, school, and board staff to witness the learning and invited them to put the reflections on our graffiti board. This is some of what they had to say.
The kids are more in charge of their learning, they're happier, they've made more friends, they're more engaged, they're better risk takers. Overall, it's been just such a blessing.
Throughout the TLLP, the students were always at the center of the learning. They had complete ownership of their learning and have become strong advocates for themselves. Another very exciting piece for us is the continued impact that Cheryl and Kelly's TLP will have. They are planning on expanding their research and work to include other classrooms. This focus for 2017-2018 is increasing teachers' understanding of their work and not only under the roof, but throughout our system. Félicitations, Madame Miller and Madame McGregor. Your work has been a success.
The transformation of our classroom has really transformed our teaching, and our goal is to continue the journey as we all learn and grow.